going to take a look at the Jimny here today. This is a really cool model, 12 scale, and I mean, if you want to push the boundaries of actual scale modeling reproduction, this is the company to go with. With this kind of a case, everything is just super secure. We got a spot here for the battery, the charger. This is a really fantastic little 2-cell LiPo and a USB charger. The best radio system that FMS makes is right here in this kit. This is designed and manufactured by FlySky, and FMS Models logo on it. All of the ESC controls are right on the transmitter, along with like 12 different light modes. This is crazy. But the important part is the actual model. So let's just have a look at this beautiful thing. I even wore my green shirt today so I could blend in. Let's take a look. The Jimny actually started in 1970 as the first generation as the LJ, and the LJ had a couple of different variations before it turned into the SJ. And the SJ is a version that FMS Models also makes, but in the 1/6 scale. The SJ second generations began in 1981, and then there was a little stint with Mazda as well later in the 80s. And then in 1998 there was at the Tokyo Motor Show, they put out a brand new ladder frame design. Now this little Jimny we're seeing here is actually the 4th generation, which was released in 2018. And FMS Models took the manufacturing of this to the next level and really legitimately duplicated every single detail, not just RC. I mean, the undercarriage on this vehicle is exactly the way that it is on the proper ladder frame 4th generation Jimny. They've used every single detail they possibly could, including the original fuel cell, the multi-link suspension, where the exhaust is positioned. It has coil springs and separate shocks. The interior has no compromises for RC parts, even though it does have a servo-controlled steering wheel, a full set of gauges, a full set of vents. All of the knobs are for the heating controls are installed. There's every single detail put into this from FMS Models, even though it's a full functioning RC. They have, I think, more than a dozen lights in different LED trims and LED boards, including a tiny little LED inside the rear swing open trunk door. The seats are amazing on this. You will see that they've done a full 3-door, so like all of the hinges on the doors are actually made out of cast metal. They will not break if you have a bit of a tumble with the truck. Very strong. Check out the seats. Forward, you've got all of the tilting for the back of the seat as well, so that you can put in your 12 scale passengers and drivers. In the rear, the seats are, it is a 4-seater, and the seats go up and down for the rear 2 seats as well. This is the way the factory truck is. There is no compromise from FMS Models. And of course, the cargo area is also being used as a cargo area. You can put your scale items in there, and there is no detail left undone. Multiple lights on this truck. It's just amazing. The battery actually goes in here under the hood. There's an air breather here that just pops off. You can swing that right out of the way. And that section comes off. And then there's a wire right here for your battery. The battery pack fits right in here beside the motor. There's a nice place for that. You plug it in and you're all set. So this is where these boxes really come in handy. Like, I brought the truck on our little tiny fishing boat there. We're out with the boys to go do some tubing today on the water, and because I can bring an RC in a safe box, we're out on this island here doing a little bit of crawling. I'm going to have a good time with the Jimny today on these rocks here on this island, and let's give her. It actually is super refreshing to me to be able to drive an actual scale RC. We try to build scale model replicas at GCM all the time, but we always tend to lean towards performance and bigger tires. A lot of the trucks that end up getting built are not proportionally perfect, so the performance actually is better than a real one, if you will. Now, with the FMS Jimny, because this model is an actual replica, it's got tiny little skinny tires on it that actually bite really well in a surprising amount of terrains. It's got full-size stock bumpers. It's got a scale amount of suspension travel, so, you know, but it has a lot of features that actually will help you on trail. For instance, you can see how slow the tires are turning here. I'm in low range. It actually has a 2-speed gearbox built into it. High speed will get you zipping down the trail to your next obstacle for sure. And in low range, you've got an insane amount of wheel control. So very, very well built for RC, but still a replica of a real truck. Unfortunately, I did not get my wheel placement very good for this front overhang until now, and so off I go. Now, with this kind of rolling terrain, you would take a real full-size Jimny out on this kind of trail, but you would do so under the caution of watching for overhangs, watching for being center hung, sharp rocks, stuff like that. And I encountered the exact same thing driving the Jimny on this trail. This is one spot where my tire placement really did matter, so I could get the front end over the obstacle, and then I got slightly center hung as a consequence. So if you want a challenge to drive a really good scale model in a really good scale way, this is the model for you. FMS did a perfect job trying to balance out the replica model styling and detail with a full functioning RC, and I'm telling you, this thing is so much fun to drive. I really like it. I really do. And I'm excited to say that there's more to come on this with the actual steering wheel inside the cab as well. I'm hoping to put a driver and passengers in here that have soft arms so that I can actually get them to steer and do some really good replica work on the inside as well. Now, the truck does have, I think, 10 different modes on the trigger for the lighting control. It's got high beams, low beams, signals on, signals off, fog lights, all kinds of different lighting. You can have the tail lights work with the stop feature. You can have them off. You can have the reverse lights working or not. You can have the marker lights on or not. You can have the hazard lights flashing or not. There's just endless modes that you can cycle through from the transmitter to get the different lighting modes, and it's all built into the truck already. As I said about the low range, the wheel control is really fantastic, and one of my favorite features about the truck is on the transmitter is 4 dip switches that are red. The far left one, you can toggle up and down to switch between crawler mode or regular driving mode simply by flicking the switch. Very handy. And of course, in the crawling mode, you get the drag brake. The drag brake settings are on the right side of the dip switches. It's all controllable right at your fingertips. Very, very easy to drive off-road. And if you get on a quicker trail, you can just zip along. So why add the Jimny to your collection? The main reason is because it's a factory authentic replication of the real Suzuki Jimny from 2018. It's so well done. The truck actually drives like a real truck. They didn't cheap out on stuff like having the lighting system or the 2-speed, but more importantly is the detail level in the truck is actually extreme. I feel like this is one of those productions that just simply didn't have any corners cut. It's so well done, and if you think that there's going to be problems on trail, or you're not really sure if the longevity of the truck is there, I mean, it's already got all steel drive shafts, it's got ball bearings throughout, it's got proper pillow ball differentials in the front for steering. All of the mechanical stuff that actually matters is already built really strong, but there's an entire parts suite available for the truck at their USA store, which is in Florida, from FMS Models directly. So you don't have to worry about where am I going to get a replacement part. And my favorite part about the replacement parts is you can get an entire body set and paint it a different color and then swap all your parts over. You can replace stuff like if you have a slit in a tire, you've got to cut a tire on a rock, you can buy a set of tires. You can buy a complete front rear axle set. All the stuff that's going to actually matter when you need parts is available for this truck already. And so there's nothing to worry about. Sometimes we get into these brands that aren't necessarily Horizon brand or some big name, and we think to ourselves, well, it's great looking and I really like the features, but I'm not sure they're going to have product support. This is not the case. FMS Models have been around for years and years and years. They have an entire parts suite for all the aviation parts they've been doing for years, and they have an entire parts suite for all of their on-road that they've been doing now for a couple of years. I'm very pleased that this model was actually produced. I wanted one of these in 2018 when they first came out, and FMS did a perfect job on this reproduction. Thanks very much for watching the video. If you guys want to go crawling with me sometime with the 18th or the 24th trucks, be sure to let me know. I love these things. I can't wait to show you some more. Cheers.